Queen v. Dudley and Stephens is about an ill-fated crew of a ship in 1884 that was lost at sea about 1,600 miles from the Cape of Good Hope. The crew, the four surviving members of the crew were the captain, Dudley, his mate, Stephens, another serviceman on the crew, Brooks, and a sailor named Parker, who was about 17 or 18 years old. The ship was floating out at sea, and the four people on the ship had very few supplies. They had no fresh water and only about 2 pounds of turnips, which they subsisted on for several days. On the fourth day, they caught a small turtle, and that lasted them a few days. But then after that, they had nothing to eat till about the 20th day, when the events that gave rise to this case occurred. Dudley and Stephens approached Brooks about killing Parker, the teenage boy, and eating his corpse. Brooks was horrified. He said, absolutely not. They mulled it for a few days, and then ultimately, while Brooks was sleeping, Dudley slit the throat of the boy after saying a prayer and asking for his forgiveness. All three of the remaining crewmen subsisted on the boy's body for about 4 days until they were rescued. Dudley and Stephens were prosecuted for murder. They didn't deny doing what they did, but argued that under the extreme circumstances they were enduring, they had the defense of necessity. Now, sometimes you can defend against breaking a law by arguing that you chose a lesser of two evils. In this case, if they hadn't killed Parker, they argued, it's extremely likely that all four of them would have died, and therefore, although what they did was not good, it was ultimately the lesser of two evils. The court rejected this argument, and they said that the defense of necessity cannot be used to justify a murder. The court recognized the extremely extenuating circumstances that they were under, but noted that sometimes the law expects people to endure great hardship and even sacrifice their own life before they can take another life. Therefore, the convictions for murder were upheld, although instead of getting the death penalty, which was the typical punishment for murder at this time, the sentence was ultimately commuted to 6 months in prison. That's the case of the Queen v. Dudley and Stephens.